G'day guys, welcome back to 42 Degrees South Boatworks on YouTube. I have posted on my Facebook page about the upcoming things that I'm going to be doing, which is going entirely through the setup of 4 different boats. 4 different hulls, 4 different methods, 4 different ways of doing things. Now what I want to do is, I guess, introduce you around to what I'm looking at. Now the article's there, but not everybody's a reader, so I'll be writing about what I'm doing, but I'll also be videoing it. All 4 boats will be videoed start to finish. Stop. Hopefully this will be an interesting series for you. It's going to be pretty involved and pretty long. Remember to please, if you like this, if you like the content that I'm putting up, like, share and subscribe, because the more people that hear this stuff, the safer we are, and the less the trolls get to say what we do. So follow me and I'll take you through it. Cheers. So what am I actually looking for? What are the things that when I decide, okay, I'm going to refurbish my boat, I'm going to spend a fuckload of money and have fun doing it? What am I actually looking at? Well, anyone that reads my articles knows I'm Mr. Anti-bling. I just don't do bling. I do functional. And that's pretty much going to guide what I do with the Penguin, with the Firefly. Not so much with the other 2 boats. We'll explain them more as we get to there. But for now, my intention is to go around the Penguin, figure out what I need to do, and actually plan it. If I don't plan it, it's going to spend a shit ton of money for nothing. I'll have all the stuff I don't need, whereas what I do want to do is go through, make a plan, identify the things that she needs the most, and you know, I might buy some toys along the way, I might not. But you've got to be methodical. It's like when I will test your boat. It's not guesswork, it's one step following another. So hopefully I can make that entertaining, usually by bashing my head. So I'll see if I can do that a few times. The things with refurbishing a boat for me is always going to be, I'm going to look at the wiring first. Now, I have rewired the Penguin already. When I got her back the second time, she was not in great shape, and we'll leave it at that. Don't need to say too much negative. So the first thing was to make sure that she was safe, electrically sound, which is a big thing at the moment. I've written a lot about it, I'm getting a lot of questions about it. So where the hell do I look for that? Well, if we can have the camera follow, I'll always start with the visual inspection. So if you want to look down here with me, what you see there, and I get phone calls about this all the time, is my boat's got stray current, it's corroding. That's not corrosion, that's oxidization. It's a different process. There's no corrosion happening there. That's just a hull that's nearly 11 years old that's done a lot of work. So I can look at it and think, yeah, I'm not worried about it being dangerous, but let's clean it up a little bit. Now that doesn't mean polishing it, that doesn't mean doing any of those things. I don't believe in polishing alloy, I don't believe in coating it with anything. Alloy needs to breathe. The more you let it breathe, the longer it lasts. What my plan with this will be is a lot of elbow grease. Nylon scrubbing, water, just knock it back a little bit and probably get some protection on there, some lanolin, just to keep it looking pretty. I actually love this. It says that a boat's had a life and it's been somewhere. It's nothing that I worry about. Now, if we head up the front for a sec, I can show you when it was a worry. So I've looked at one part, and that's oxidization. Now, one of the things with the Penguin, for people that, some of you will know this, she had big time stray current, which is one of the places where I learned about it. Now, you can see these ugly, horrible looking things here. You can also see the discoloration line there. Now, that was 2019 that was fixed, and those pits have not moved an ounce. So I know that the boat is still sound. I don't have to worry about them. They're not cosmetically very nice, but because I store the boat with everything open so it can breathe, it's not a worry for me. I monitor them, but I don't worry about it because they haven't literally moved. I've got photos from when they started all the way through to now. So that's the beauty of alloy as well. Once you remove the problem, it stops corroding. Just stop it for a sec. Another really important thing with this is when you're looking at your own boat, and I have said this on another video, so I'm sorry if it's repetitive, I'm not looking to try and remove these. But the interesting thing I have with them that I want to share is how to recognise what they are. Now, I have had dealers and I have had people come and say that's not straight current. Well, I beg to differ, because I've done a lot of boats since that all had exactly the same symptoms and without exception were all live. What I also want to show you is there's a pattern, and you can see that pattern running down. That's not water sitting there, that's that's the water line, and the pitting is chasing that down. So that's the path of the current. It's far more prevalent on the right side than the left. So for a refurbishing point of view, I don't really care about it. I'll probably give it a scrub back, give it another coating. It's all been coated in steel seal for its whole life. And that's it, I'll leave it there. So I don't have to go overboard with that. I hope you'll kind of excuse my gonzo style photography and a little bit of shaking. It's one of those things. So for me, the first point of refurbishment, even though I've already rewired it, as you can see, I have a particular way, I guess, of doing that. I've never been much of a fan of the, super tight art wiring. Like everything, there's a reason why I do things the way I do it. You can see that the wiring is supported. It's not going to come out, it's not going to damage itself, but it's not so tight that it's going to break. There are things, though, that with this rewire that I'm not happy with. One of them being this block, which is entirely my screw up. It's the wrong size to fit the big garment over the top. So this one will be being moved. I'm going to be running up new power feeds for the bus bars, simply because I like that overkill and I want the boat to be properly bonded. It's just preventing future down, and things do get old. This wiring's been in here for 2 years, no corrosion, no problems, but I want to make sure that any little bits and pieces in there that I can fix or identify, I will. So, just looking down from the top into the wiring, you can why and how and so you can see, as I sort of did it, this is my attitude, is always to keep things as empty and as clean as possible. So this was the motivation behind this wiring. Now there's a couple of things when I did it the first time I'm not entirely happy with. I said about this block, I would like these to be more easily identifiable. Everything is labelled, but it's still not as easy as I would like it to be able to read. So at the moment, we're talking little things. She's already been tested for any current. We'll go through that again, and one of the videos will be me showing you how to do that. So if we just bring the camera, pan up in there, same thing. There's nothing's tied down. It's just supported so that it can move a little bit with the boat, and neat and tidy. I know what everything is, even though the labelling is not as good as it could be. And so the wiring part of this boat is simply going to be making sure everything is labelled correctly. I'm going. Mm-hmm. So I've checked the front. There's a few things I can do there. There's things that will certainly benefit the boat over the time. Now this one down here in the battery box, this is the case for all boats, whether it's GRP, poly, alloy, whatever. Almost without exception, the battery boxes are the ones that get forgotten about and where you find corrosion. So I want to show you this. This was the first, when I rewired, this was the first place I stopped. And again, what I was trying to do was achieve space. You have space, it can breathe, you don't get corrosion. If you look down there, you can see that she's never corroded. She's got that yellowish sort of tinge, that's lanolin. So in its lifetime, we've never had an issue with that. Lugs are super clean, just the way they should be. And that's something that I check all the time, but for this refurb that I'm doing, both these batteries are now too old, so they'll be binned and they'll be replaced. I will also, if you want to look up in here, I will most likely be adding another charge feature up in there, because one day I would like to put a trolling motor on the boat. So, not big things at the moment, a lot of little things. The bigger things I think are with the transom. So we'll go down and have a look at that. I'm going. Mm-hmm. So I've checked the front. There's a few things I can do there. There's things that will certainly benefit the boat over the time. Now this one down here in the battery box, this is the case for all boats, whether it's GRP, poly, alloy, whatever. Almost without exception, the battery boxes are the ones that get forgotten about and where you find corrosion. So I want to show you this. This was the first, when I rewired, this was the first place I stopped. And again, what I was trying to do was achieve space. You have space, it can breathe, you don't get corrosion. If you look down there, you can see that she's never corroded. She's got that yellowish sort of tinge, that's lanolin. So in its lifetime, we've never had an issue with that. Lugs are super clean, just the way they should be. And that's something that I check all the time, but this for this refurb that I'm doing, both these batteries are now too old, so they'll be binned and they'll be replaced. I will also, if you want to look up in here, I will most likely be adding another charge feature up in there, because one day I would like to put a trolling motor on the boat. So, not big things at the moment, a lot of little things. The bigger things I think are with the transom. So we'll go down and have a look at that. So I've had a look at the electrical stuff. There's going to be bits and pieces, maybe a day's work, but I'm happy enough with that. It's going to be a lot more work when we get to the Firefly. The Penguin's pretty good. One thing I am going to do though is finally, after 10 years, fix this fucking window from leaking. You notice all the carpet's been stripped off. Previously I've had the entire dash out, trying to find the source of it. I stopped one leak, another one has started. So instead of fucking around with it anymore, what I'm going to do now is remove those front two screens and simply rebed them completely. That's going to be a pain in the ass, but that's something that's really important, particularly sort of the environments that we go in these sorts of boats and the environments that I take the Penguin when I can actually get out on her. I don't want water pissing in through there. I don't want water touching my electrics. I want them nice and clean and stable and solid. So that'll be a huge job. When we video that, there'll probably be more swear words than anything else. Probably one of the biggest projects that I have to do with the Penguin is fix up some little stress cracks. Now, as far as I'm concerned from a seaworthy point of view, there's no issue, but they're ugly. I don't want them there. I don't believe they're going to open up more. The Penguin's a little bit more solid in the bottom than some boats, but I do want that to be done properly. So when I do that, I'm not only just going to be repairing that, I'm also going to put some additional strengthening in there in case I repower one day. At the moment, the Suzuki works perfectly with it, but if you can, why not do the job once? All around here, these guys, back when it was set up to begin with, for some reason I don't fully understand, everything was rigged through the sides, so you'd always tread on this. Been waiting for ages to get them filled up, so we're fixing them. This is all great. This is held up beautifully from when it was put in. Steering system, as I wrote about, it works well. I'm debating going down the electric Optimus route, purely because I'm getting old and a little bit crumbly, and you know, I'd like some luxuries. So with that, it's probably a good point to talk about that. Luxuries. What's a luxury that's good? What's a luxury that's necessary? Well, for me, easy steering, responsive handling, and knowing that it's electrically sound. That's good enough for me. And knowing she'll get me anywhere. Clean fuel is another big one. Well, so talking about fuel. Now, I've had this asked a lot, so I thought I'd address this now fuck, it started again. I've had a lot of questions about fuel as well, so it seems like a good time while we're doing a walk around deciding what I'm going to do as far as a refurb. Fuel is a big part of that. Now, fuel, give or take, your petrol sitting in your tank, if it's there undisturbed for more than a couple of weeks, realistically it's not that great. And particularly with modern four-strokes, it can become a problem. Your fuel tank will condense, it will get water in it, it will have sludge in it, it will have the swarf in it from whoever built it if it's an alloy tank. Those things are just part of it and they're normal. All you have to do to make sure about that though, do you have to pull the tank out at 10 years old? Absolutely not. I had no intention of it, because every 50 hours or so I'm running a fuel additive through it to make sure that I'm getting any crap out of the filters, and every 100 hours the filters get emptied. They get checked every time I go out to sea as well. So again, preventative doctoring or maintenance before I go out and go, oh fuck, I've got no fuel, because it can't get past the water and the dirt, which I have seen more times than I'd probably like to.
Good.
Yep. So one of the biggest things for me on this boat that I want to do is get this sorted out. So now the engine's off, sitting behind it after that time, you are going to get some corrosion. Now this engine was fitted really well. You can see that the effort was made to try and keep the engine plate away from the transom, and that's why it's lasted as long as it has. Now on the flip side to that, there's several different types of corrosion going on in here that I just want to point out. And for anyone that wants to comment about my workability with that sanding, fuck off. I have high standards. When you see it finished, then it'll look pretty. For now, it's just illustrating a point. So I need to get all this shit off. I need to get it back to bare alloy, and I need to get rid of the different types of corrosion. So if you want to come a little bit closer, one of the ones we've got, they're all versions of galvanic corrosion. So you see under there, that's just galvanic. There's just salt that's got under the sealant. There's nothing to worry about. It hasn't done any damage. That's not a problem. The one that I found interesting though, especially for you guys that love to put a heap of sealant on everything, see that hole? And that's what happens when you use sealant. It'll get air bubbles in it. Behind that air bubble is what we call crevice corrosion or crevice crack corrosion. That's sat there with a little bubble of salt water in it for God knows how long. And it has actually, when I took it off, actually ran out and a heap of powdery salt came off that. So again, I'm not worried about it, but it's interesting to look for those things. If you see a hole like that in silicone work that you've done, odds are there's probably salt water underneath it. This one is fully corroded underneath there, so you can actually see where the engine board has been. All of that up is corrosion. So I'll be taking that straight back to bare metal all the way around for both engine boards. Most likely at this point going to put a Vibrastop on it as well. Not that she needs it, but it gives you that little bit of extra refinement. This will be a big job. This is not one I can rush or fuck around with or, you know, try and half-ass it. This needs time dedicated to it. Now, it's not hard time, but I want it to be as good as it can possibly be. The big things that I want to do as well is, the thing that often gets forgotten about when blinging up is, or restoring for that matter, is the trailer. Now for me that means new springs, new brakes, new controller, basically everything that I can replace new, that's what I'll be doing. If you have a look at this, this is why I particularly recommend some products as well. My boat catch has been on there since the start. It's perfect. It's never had a single problem, so I don't need to worry about that. I don't need to worry about the alignment of the boat on the trailer for that. She has never moved. She loads perfectly every time. I probably do need to worry about the cobwebs a little bit. This is the bastard. Now I'm not, hang on, I'll try and hide the brand just in case I'm not shaming. This is a piece of shit. So this was not put on by me, this was put on previously. This will be replaced with a different unit, one that I've actually got a little bit more ability to maintain. The problem with this is it's too exposed. It's just, I hate it. You know, you can't work around it. You're trying to reach and do things and it just gets in the way. So I'm going to move it back to the original system that it had on it. I don't need to recable it because that's been done, but I do need to make sure the electrical stuff up here is all good. Now, if I just wander around here, I'll just show you down the hull a bit. And this is the last thing that I'm looking at. Again, she's not corroded, she's just oxidizing. And for a boat of her age, it's pretty damn good. So there's nothing there that worries me. There's nothing there that I have to focus on or stress about. She's pretty much good to go. In fact, I'll show you how smooth she is after all this time, and that is having a lifetime of water, and that's it. She's never had steel, she's never had salt away, she's never had any of that stuff. So I'll show you a trick pick. That's it. I mean, look at that glow. She's still shiny. All these years later, and she still shines. If you've got that, you know you've got a happy boat. All right, so that's a basic walk around of what we're going to do. It's going to be more in depth as I do each thing. I'm certainly not going to half-ass it. Like I said, I want to do this properly. Some of you know how much this old pink girl means to me. Some of you don't, but you'll see how much love she's going to get. Now, that should happen for every boat. If you love them, they'll look after you. And this big girl she's kept her family safe, she's kept me safe, she's kept a lot of people safe, and I want to make sure that she can keep doing that as long as I can keep going out in the water. So I hope you enjoy the journey with me. I'll be bouncing between boats. This is simply introducing the first one. Please remember again to like, share and subscribe. It's so important that we get good information, clean information that's not my uncle's brother's cousin's fucking auntie said this, and that's, you know, the way we do it. We do it simply, and we do it the correct way, the scientific way. Now, I'm probably going to fuck some stuff up when I do it, and you know what? I'll film it. It'll be on the YouTube clips as well. It's fine, because you learn from doing that. I'm always learning. I'm still always learning and picking things up, trying them, see if they work, see if they don't. There might be a better way than the way I do things. So all of that will be part of this YouTube series. I'm stoked to be able to do this. I hope you guys enjoy it. Please, in the comments, leave everything you can. Any stories you want to share, ideas, questions, put it all in there. More the better. Thanks again for being with 42 Degrees South, and next video we'll get started.